Operation Epic Fury.
I'm Gary Franchi reporting from the White House, and what I'm about to show you is nothing short of breathtaking. The president hosting a White House press briefing today. 2 American pilots shot down deep inside Iran, trapped in enemy territory with thousands of Iranian forces hunting them down. Well, President Trump just pulled off maybe the most audacious military rescue operation in modern American history. You are going to learn the details, and you are going to understand now why the world is watching. And think about this for a moment. 2 of our finest warriors ejected from the F-15s over hostile Iranian soil. One of them injured, bleeding, climbing mountain cliffs in the dark, with enemy forces closing in from every direction. This wasn't some movie script. This was real. This was happening, and President Trump had seconds to make a decision that could have resulted in hundreds of American casualties or the rescue of a lifetime. The mainstream media does not want you to see what American military dominance looks like under a commander-in-chief named Donald Trump. They don't want you to feel the pride of knowing your president ordered 155 aircraft into hostile airspace and brought our boys home. But you're going to learn it all right here, right now, because this is what real leadership looks like. And speaking of what matters most, I'm going to tell you about something about financial security, because President Trump just sent 155 aircraft into enemy territory to bring 2 Americans home. He didn't hesitate. He didn't calculate the political costs. He acted. And that is the mentality you need with your finances, too. See, Wall Street doesn't lose money on sell-offs. You do. They create the panic, wait for you to dump your position and scoop it up at a discount. The big banks aren't selling their gold. They're buying yours. You built portfolio insurance for a reason. Don't let a red day hand it to the people who cause it. Go to nextnewsgold.com. Talk to Noble Gold Investments. They'll help you protect what's yours with physical gold and silver. Open a qualifying account and get a free 10th ounce American Gold Eagle. Nextnewsgold.com, because protecting what matters doesn't wait. Now, I'm going to show you what happened in that Iranian mountain range. President Trump just held a press briefing detailing this rescue mission, and what the White House released is stunning. We've got all the details, the CIA director breaking it down, the deception campaign. We got Trump himself explaining how he made the call that saved American lives. I'm going to walk you through this all piece by piece. Now, the first clip here, President Trump describing what that injured pilot went through, bleeding, climbing cliffs, evading capture, and then Trump reveals the scale of what he authorized: 155 aircraft, 7 fake locations, a deception operation that left the Iranians spinning in circles. Watch this.
Despite the peril, the officer followed his training and climbed into the treacherous mountain terrain and started climbing toward a higher altitude, something they were trained to do in order to evade capture. They want to always go as far away from the site of the shoot down. You want to go as far away because they all head right to that site. You want to be as far away as you can. And he was injured, and he was an amazing, amazing thing. He scaled cliff faces, bleeding rather profusely, treated his own wounds, and contacted American forces to transmit his location. They have a very sophisticated beeper-type apparatus that is on them at all times. And when they go out on these missions, they make sure they have lots of battery space and they're in good shape. And this one worked really well, amazingly, saved his life. We immediately mobilized a massive operation to retrieve him from the mountain holdout. And he kept going higher and higher. The mountain kept getting rougher and rougher, and really very, very hard to find. The second rescue mission involved 155 aircraft, including 4 bombers, 64 fighters, 48 refueling tankers, 13 rescue aircraft, and more. We were bringing them all over, and a lot of it was subterfuge. We wanted to have them think he was in a different location, because they had a vast military force out there. Thousands of people were looking. So we wanted them to look in different areas, so we were scattered all over like we were right on top of them. We had 7 different locations where they thought, and they were very confused. They said, well, wait a minute, they've got groups here, they've got groups there. It's an amazing thing. I was listening to these great people, these great generals. General Raisin Kane was amazing, and Pete Hegseth was amazing. But I listened to the whole thing. It was pretty amazing. So they had all these different sites where everybody thought he was located. We think we have him over there because they have 9 planes circling a little area that's 25 miles down the coast. So in a breathtaking show of skill and precision, lethality and force, America's military descended on the area, the real area, engaged the enemy, rescued the stranded officer, destroyed all threats, and exited Iranian territory while taking no casualties of any kind. The heroic F-15 weapons system officer had evaded capture on the ground in Iran for almost 48 hours. That's a long time when you're in tough shape and when you're bleeding. It's a long time. When we left, as you probably know, we had 2 large planes, pretty old planes that carried a lot. We needed a lot more equipment going in than coming out, obviously, because going in, we needed to be able to scale mountains, and we had a lot of equipment. But the sand was sandy, wet sand, so we thought there may be a problem taking off because of the weight of the plane, and then we also had all the men jumping back onto the planes, and they got pretty well bogged down, and we had a contingency plan, which was unbelievable, where lighter, faster aircraft came in, and they took them out. We blew up the old planes. We blew them up to smithereens because we had equipment on the planes that, frankly, we'd like to take, but I don't think it was worthwhile spending another 4 hours there taking it off. So we didn't want anybody to have, we have the best equipment anywhere in the world. We didn't want anybody examining our anti-aircraft and other equipment. So these were large planes that were old and pretty old, and we blew them up, and we had faster, lighter planes come in, and they were able to land on the sand. We needed the bigger planes because we had so much equipment that we needed. We took 3 helicopters over there, which were very strongly used and couldn't have lived without them. They did, and they performed unbelievably well. And if you'd see it, you wouldn't believe it. They came off the plane, and these guys had them, the rotors were off. They rebuilt these helicopters in less than 10 minutes. And that was one of the more amazing things.
Did you catch that? 7 different locations where the Iranians thought our pilot was hiding. Trump said the enemy was confused, saying, wait a minute, they've got groups here, they've got groups here. That's not a rescue mission, that's a psychological warfare executed at the highest level. And the president was listening to the entire operation in real time. But the deception campaign, it didn't just happen by accident. The CIA director just explained exactly how they pulled it off. CIA Director Ratcliffe laying out what no other intelligence service on Earth could accomplish: human assets, technologies that don't exist anywhere else, and a race against time to find one American hidden in a mountain crevice before the Iranians did. Listen.
At the president's direction, we deployed both human assets and exquisite technologies that no other intelligence service in the world possesses to a daunting challenge, comparable to hunting for a single grain of sand in the middle of a desert. This was also a race against the clock, as it was critical that we locate the downed aviator as quickly as possible, while at the same time keeping our enemies misdirected. For that reason, in addition to the human and technical assets deployed by the president to find our airman, CIA executed a deception campaign to confuse the Iranians, who were desperately hunting for our airmen. On Saturday morning, we achieved our primary objective by finding and providing confirmation that one of America's best and bravest was alive and concealed in a mountain crevice, still invisible to the enemy, but not to the CIA. That confirmation was relayed by Secretary Hegseth to the president, and the operation quickly moved to the execution phase. Following the successful exfiltration on Saturday night, our intelligence reflects that the Iranians were embarrassed and ultimately humiliated by the success of this audacious rescue mission. When the president asked me to lead the CIA, he made it clear: get back to basics, no politics, no agendas, tackle the hardest problems, and execute the toughest missions. This president is about results. And now, that's what his CIA is about too. The professionals at the agency and at the Department of War deserve immense credit for their flawless execution during this daring mission. Their skill, creativity, and courage are unmatched on the battlefield wherever they step. But none of that matters, and all of that is wasted without a president with the political courage to put them into action.
The CIA found our airmen in a mountain crevice, still invisible to the enemy, but not invisible to American intelligence. And did you hear what Ratcliffe said at the end? The Iranians were embarrassed and humiliated because President Trump had the political courage to put our people into action. That's the difference between this commander-in-chief and the last one. Now here's President Trump himself explaining the moment he gave the order that put everything into motion. This is the President of the United States standing at the White House describing a decision most leaders would never have the courage to make. 21 aircraft into hostile airspace, helicopters taking direct gunfire, and a promise that in the American military, we leave no one behind. Watch.
Late Thursday night, an American F-15 fighter jet went down deep inside enemy territory in Iran while participating in Operation Epic Fury, where we're doing unbelievably well, well at a level that nobody's ever seen before. The entire country can be taken out in one night, and that night might be tomorrow night. Both members of the crew ejected from the aircraft and landed alive. On Iranian soil, I immediately was asked to make a decision. I ordered the U.S. Armed Forces to do whatever was necessary to bring our brave warriors back home. A risky decision, because we could have ended up with 100 dead as opposed to 1 or 2. It's a hard decision to make. But in the United States military, we leave no American behind. We don't do it. Within hours, our armed forces deployed 21 military aircraft into hostile airspace, many flying at very low altitude, being shot by bullets. You bring rifles into play when you're going that low, but there are also certain advantages. And in broad daylight over Iran for 7 hours, at times facing very, very heavy enemy fire. We have a helicopter that's got a lot of bullets in it. It's amazing. We just realized how good those weapons are. Our machines are. Nobody has the equipment that we have, and nobody has the military that we have. Not even close. We're the most powerful military anywhere in the world by far. The flight crews and warfighters aboard those aircraft took extraordinary risks to rescue their fellow service members. This first wave of search and rescue forces successfully located the pilot of the F-15, and he was extracted from enemy territory by an HH-60 Jolly Green II helicopter. Fabulous machine as our warriors faced gunfire at very close range. It's amazing that when you look at the machinery, what happened, that nobody was even injured. Meanwhile, the second crew member, a weapons system officer, highly respected colonel, had landed a significant distance away from the pilot. When you're going at those speeds, even if you go out 2 or 3 seconds later, it's miles and miles away because you're going fast. He was injured quite badly and stranded in an area teeming with terrorists from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps rough group, as well as besieged militia and local authorities. Many, on top of everything else, they told the communities actually within inside of Iran, the people of Iran, they were given a tremendous incentive to find this pilot.
Trump said it plain, we leave no American behind, we don't do it. And then he revealed those helicopters came back riddled with bullets, riddled. Our crews flew into enemy fire for 7 hours at low altitude where rifles were being used against them. And nobody was even injured. That is American military superiority. Nobody has it, not even close. And I'm going to tell you what this all means. What you just witnessed, you see, is a president who makes the hard calls, a CIA that's back doing its job, and a military that is unmatched on this planet. President Trump authorized 155 aircraft, ran a deception campaign across 7 locations, sent helicopters into a hailstorm of enemy fire, and brought both American warriors home alive. The Iranians threw thousands of troops at this search. They failed, they were humiliated, and the entire world just watched Donald Trump prove that when Americans are in danger, this president moves heaven and earth to bring them back. You see, this is what America First looks like in action. Not speeches, not empty promises, results. Our pilots are home, our enemies are embarrassed, and our military just proved why nobody wants to test the United States under President Trump. The mainstream media, of course, will bury the story. They don't want you feeling proud of your country, but you saw it right here on the Next News Network. So share this video with every patriot you know. Hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you never miss what they're trying to hide from you. I'm Gary Franchi reporting from just outside the White House. Stay informed, stay free, and God bless America.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
I want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.